All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about what really separates people who get fluent in English from those who don't. And spoiler alert, it's not some single magic trick. It's actually a set of principles that anyone can use. So let's dig in. Have you ever felt this way? You're putting in the hours, you're studying all the grammar rules, but you just feel stuck, like you've hit a wall. It is so frustrating, right? But the secret to breaking through that wall isn't in some new textbook. It's hidden in the habits of people who've already made it to the other side. So, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to look at the real stories of three different learners, Maria, Halima, and Luca. By figuring out what they all had in common, we can basically create a blueprint, a roadmap that you can start using for yourself, like right now.
Okay, so pillar number one, and honestly, this might be the most important one of all. It's all about the power of consistency. Because what all three of these learners figured out is that how often you practice is way more important than how long you practice. A polyglot named Luca Lampariello even gave it a name, the law of language accumulation. The best way to think about it is like compound interest for your brain. Every little bit you do each day doesn't just add up, it builds on itself, creating these huge results down the line. It's about ditching the binge studying and building a simple daily habit instead.
So, what are we talking about here? A small daily effort. What does that actually mean? Well, for Luca, a lot of the time it was just 30 minutes. That's it. It's an amount of time that doesn't feel scary or overwhelming, and almost anyone can squeeze it into their day. The real power is just doing it every single day. And here's why that works so much better. Your brain actually learns and remembers things through something called spaced repetition, basically seeing it over and over again with a little time in between. So doing 30 minutes a day keeps the language fresh in your mind constantly. It's way, way more effective than trying to cram 5 hours of studying into your Saturday.
So you're committed to your daily practice. Awesome. But the next big question is, what should you actually do in that time? Well, that brings us right to pillar number two. The most successful learners kick things off with active methods, not passive ones.
Maria's story is a perfect example. I think a lot of us can relate to this. She was really shy about speaking at first. The idea of a conversation was just too much. So she found a way to be active that felt safe. She started reading aloud.
And this simple trick was a total game changer for both Maria and Luca. See, when you read something you're actually interested in out loud, you're not just reading. You're physically training your mouth and your ears. You're building the muscle memory for pronunciation and getting used to the actual sound of English coming from your own voice.
But here's the thing. Reading aloud is a fantastic start, but it's not the whole story. And that's where Halima's strategy comes in. She knew that to get truly fluent, she couldn't just focus on one thing. She had to work on all her skills at the same time.
This is such a key insight, and Luca also talked about it a lot. These skills, reading, writing, listening, and speaking, they aren't separate things. They're all connected. Think about it. You watch a movie with English subtitles. Bam, you're listening and reading. Then you pause it and repeat a line you thought was cool. Now you're speaking. Then you jot down that phrase in a notebook, and now you're writing. You just hit all four skills in one fun activity. All right, on to pillar three, immersion. You've got to find a way to surround yourself with English. You have to make it a natural, necessary part of your world. Now, for Maria and Halime, moving to another country was a huge part of their journey. But here's the secret. The magic wasn't the plane ticket. It was the immersion. And the really good news is that you can create that for yourself right where you are, no passport needed. You can build your own little immersion zone at home. And it's probably easier than you think. Here are some simple, super powerful ways to do it. Change the language on your phone to English. Start watching your favorite shows in English. Listen to an English podcast on your way to work. Each one of these little changes adds up, and pretty soon your brain is just constantly swimming in English. And that leads us to our final pillar, which is honestly a complete mindset shift. This is where you move from just studying English like it's a school subject to actually using it like the tool it's meant to be. Everybody goes through this progression. You start out by studying the rules, the vocabulary lists, but the real breakthrough, the moment you truly level up, is when you start using the language to get something done in the real world. That's the moment English stops being a subject and starts being a part of you. Halime's story really nails this. She realized she was stopping to look up every single word she didn't know. So she forced herself to stop. She learned to trust her brain to figure out the meaning from the context around the word. And that right there
is a huge step toward thinking directly in English instead of always translating in your head.
So, what's the ultimate form of active use? Well, Luca figured it out, making friends. Because when you're talking to a friend, you're not practicing English, you're just talking. You're sharing stories, you're laughing, you're connecting. The language becomes real, it becomes necessary. So, when you pull back and you look at these three different people from different backgrounds, a really clear pattern starts to emerge. There's no single magic pill, no. But there is a formula. There's a blueprint for success that's built on these four core ideas. So let's put it all together. Here it is, your English fluency toolkit. Number 1, practice every day for consistency. Number 2, find an active way to start, something like reading aloud. Number 3, build your own immersion zone. And finally, number 4, make that crucial shift from studying to actually using the language. Look, what all these stories really show us is that getting fluent isn't about having some special talent. It's about having the right strategy. The path is actually pretty clear. So the only question left for you is, what is the one small step you're going to take today to get started?